I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for
summer break because she may not be having lunch again until September?
Or a single father of 2 who works 3
part-time jobs and still can't put enough food on the table?
Or maybe a mother who cleans offices at night,
hoping to find meeting leftovers to take home to her hungry family.
Or a war veteran who's having a hard time
landing a job and getting back on his feet.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Yep, and we're doing it in the afternoon today. Oh, my earphones are crooked. I'm sorry. As we got the video feedback, thank you all for being patient with us as yours truly goes through the COVID protocols. I feel like a professional athlete for some reason. I'm going through the COVID protocols. What the hell's up with that? Well, as long as it works, I beg your pardon, and as long as I'm able to get back to work very, very soon, hoping this weekend, after this weekend, I'll get a clear test, and we'll get back to it. This show ain't going to stop, but tomorrow, we're going to take tomorrow off, and then Friday, we'll have our New Year's Eve special. I'm lining up the guests as we speak. I want to get a full day of rest tomorrow, and then come back Friday when Cole and I will close out 2021, and we'll be at our normal time of 11 a.m. Now, with all that out of the way, wrong button.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronsexual Confessions.
Now, before I put my headset down and let my partner take the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give a disclaimer, and I feel this is going to be necessary going forward. The opinions you are about to hear are based on research, are based on fact, and based on the fact that we've actually watched basketball for a combined 8 decades. The times that I jump in while my partner is going completely the hell off will be very warranted, very necessary, and very well supplied. We do not come into this looking to tear down said subject of Bronsexual Confessions. We only look to enlighten those who really want to know what we see, how we saw it, and what we continue to see. And in some cases, given the Lakers season, It ain't much. Take it away.
And this is why I created Bronsexual Confessions. For that particular disclaimer. Because when I looked at the landscape and I saw how people every single day, and I'm not even talking about during the NBA season like now. I'm talking about every single day in July and August and September when the NBA wasn't even scheduled to have any games. Who's the best player, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who's better, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James? Let's see. Who's the best player today, LeBron James or Stephen Curry or LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo or LeBron James, and you get the picture.
They did not put Steph in this fight.
I would hear this. Oh yeah, LeBron James and Kevin Durant. You get the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this in July and in August and in September, and so I sat back one day. I said, okay, and I was in the midst of doing more of my own show, Cold Sports, and I was beginning to do on the daily too, and I said, what can I do to basically describe my observations, my intent, and for the most part, my disdain of not LeBron, and not really a Bronsexuals, but my disdain of the fact that I hear this conversation between you all and the analysts on TV. And yes, I am professionally in the media too. So I hear my colleagues talk about LeBron James during the summer. And so I said, okay, I got it. So I made a personal credo. I said, I'm going to talk about other issues in sports, but I'm not going to talk about LeBron James, but for this particular window in this particular week. I don't care what he does for the other 6 days of the week. The Wednesday that I come up on, that is when I will talk about LeBron, and I will mention his name no other time after or before. So when I did that, of course, I got labeled hater. Of course. Of course, I got labeled you don't know what you're talking about. Of course I got labeled you're talking like you're biased. And I got that talk as recently as today. Now, as today.
Oh no.
So let's begin with, because you said blasphemy, because yes, I did send that the picture of Clutch Sports to Brian, and I did type before I even sent the picture, the blasphemy continues. And he agreed that it was blasphemous. And it is. But I received this blasphemy in front of me today.
Oh no, there's more?
Oh yes.
No.
Oh yes.
Oh dear me.
So there I was perusing social media, and I came upon a picture of LeBron James in the home Lakers jersey, the number 6, not the number 23, and above that picture says, "Oh no!" Quote: LeBron James reached 36K or 36,000 points on Tuesday. He is the youngest to reach every round number milestone in points. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, on, so forth, so forth, so forth, so forth. 34,000, 35,000, 36,000. Close quote. And it rounds exactly into what I'm about to talk about. So I had a conversation with a Bronsexual. And in the midst of this blasphemy, well, actually, that isn't really blasphemous. Yes, he is the youngest to reach those milestones. Yes, that's not really blasphemy, but I knew what was going to unearth was going to become blasphemous. And true to Bronsexual form, here it is. So this Bronsexual has the nerve to type, and I'm saying this verbatim, quote, not Kareem, not Kobe, not Shaq, not Jordan, not Pippen, not Magic, not Bird, not Durant, not Kyrie. He's the greatest to ever do it, all caps, greatest to ever do it. None of those crybaby live in the past bums ever did it. LeGoat James is the best of all time. Close quote. I will give you the floor to interrupt a bit, sir.
I'm sorry, I had to clear the bile out of the back of my throat.
That's even more precious and perfect.
First of all, LeGoat James.
I knew when I said it, I was going to cue that in your brain. Yes, LeGoat James. LeGoat. LeGoat James.
Where are the horns?
LeGoat James. Yes.
In the Sam Hill are y'all smoking? Scratch that. Eating.
Mm-hmm. LeGoat James. Yes. So of course I had to impart my wisdom on this young fella. And I said to him, youngest is not the quickest nor the greatest. So
nor the best.
Nor the best. Oh, and I'll get to that too. So he doubled down and said greatest of all time. And then of course I saw a whole ton of LeBron James pictures.
God help us.
But the funny thing about it is before he corrected himself, he said greatest of a time, right? So then I responded by saying, yes, you're correct. LeBron is the greatest of a time, but he is not and never will be the greatest of all time.
Correct.
You know, so of course he still said LeGoat James, and I gave him the Family Feud buzzer. and then he gives me more memes of LeBron James, and he gave me the precious gem of, you remember the suit that he wore after game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals?
With the shorts?
Yeah, with the shorts and the attaché case.
Yeah, I remember that. I worked late. I worked late that night and laughed my ass off.
Mm-hmm. So he used that as a theme to prove that he's the greatest ever, right? Because it was just NBA Finals and all that, right? So I had to educate the young man, and I said, and I used the same GIF, and I said, "Oh, this is after another Finals loss." And so, of course, he circled the wagons, and he was, giving them participation trophies,
again.
Saying, "Well, yeah, again," and saying that he went to 10 finals because when I mentioned when I mentioned after he asked, "So you watched him in another championship game play better than everyone on the floor?" I said to the young fella, I said, "And still lose?" "Yes." Mm-hmm. "Yeah. Similar to Jordan circa 1989 and 1990 against the Pistons."
"Yes. Yes."
The best play, yes. The best play. And I really wanted to use bouncing ball on this one because this is exactly what I was thinking.
Follow the bouncing ball, idiot.
Follow the bouncing ball, idiot. The best player on the court can lose to the better team.
Because Michael Jordan did it for 3 consecutive years, 88,
yes.
89, and 90. Which I don't mind because one person can't beat a team, although everybody wants to make LeBron James that one person that is the exception to the rule.
Right.
You want an exception to the rule besides Michael Jordan? And this will make my wife smile. Reginald Aloysius Miller.
Ooh, the whole government name. Dare say if they did not come up against the 98 Bulls, I think they probably would have gotten that championship.
Exactly. And if you're looking for a time reference, Bronsexual, try 2000. Try Game 6. Try Madison Square Garden.
Game 5 in '94's NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Good Lord, he was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Game 1 of next year's Eastern Conference semifinal round, where he scored 8 points in 9 seconds.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean it's just
8 points in 9. You got it right. 8 points in 9 seconds. What gets on my nerve about this Bronsexual, this particular Bronsexual that you went a tat with, and it was a KO, and I already know that.
Yes, it was.
He still wants to point out that LeBron's the GOAT and put no facts behind it.
No, none.
Because if you go back to 2018, yes, LeBron James scored 51 points in Game 1 of the World Championship Series.
Yes, he did.
And they also lost in overtime.
Yeah. Best player went up against the best team.
Mm-hmm.
Did not work for the best player.
MJ scored 63 against the Boston Celtics on April 20th, 1986. And lost in 2 overtimes to the Boston Celtics.
The greatest team I've ever seen on the court. And I always give Jordan his props, but I also give the Celtics theirs too. I'm like, man,
you have to.
63 against that team is awesome. But the fact that team allowed 63 and they still pulled out the W tells you how focused they were. You know,
and
so
they showed love for MJ. They were shaking hands with the Bulls walking off the court after
that game. After that game,
Because Bird knew he was in a fight. Dennis Johnson knew he was in a fight. Robert Parrish knew he was in a fight. And Robert Parrish scored the clinching bucket.
Yep.
And by the way, Bronsexual, before I step back off the stage, Michael Jordan rang up a double nickel against the Phoenix Suns in 1993 in Game 4 in Chicago Stadium. Best part about that game? Bulls won 111 to 105.
Bulls won it. Yeah, Bulls won it. That is what you should celebrate, Bronsexuals. But no, this one could not let it go. So he said, well, considering that, LeBron's in his 19th season, he had the nerve to say, quote, can't win 19 straight LMFAO. And I just basically responded by saying, but he can lose 6 finals series out of 10. And use the Kobe meme of basically wincing, right? So then, and I knew when I put the meme, when I put the face of Kobe in there, I knew he was going to take the bait.
He took the bait.
I knew he was going to take the bait because he was going to assume, and he assumed exactly what I thought, that I was a Kobe fan.
Oh boy.
And so after he said, well, yeah, Kobe. So after he said, well, Kobe went to 10, I was like, no, he won more championships than LeBron in less attempts. But hey, and claimed that Kobe did this against softer teams.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, of course, because I believe Jordan received the same type of criticism often. Yeah, he went up against softer No. Yeah, went against softer competition, but they went further and said that basically Jordan played against plumbers. But I digress. So after I schooled this young man, it said the goal is to win as many championships as possible, not about participation trophies. He said, okay, yeah. And yet here you are crucifying a player that's not even done yet, and one title off the person you're referring to in Kobe. You participation trophies, not you participation trophies come when you get knocked out before the finals, which is what Kobe loved to do. For instance, the biggest meltdown in quotes for LeBron was losing to the Mavs in the finals. Yet Kobe got swept by the same Mavericks team along with Russ and Durant. But we don't talk about that, LMFAO. And that's when I went for the knockout. I said,
Horsey. Whoa, Horsey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Repeat what this stupid Bronsexual said.
Okay, so this is verbatim. Quote, after he understood that the goal is winning championships and not participation trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, yep, and yet here you are crucifying a player that's not even done yet. And one title off from the person you're referring to, LMAO, which is Kobe. You precipitation trophies, not your participation not your participation trophies. You precipitation trophies come when you get knocked out before the finals, which is what Kobe loved to do, LML. For instance, the quote biggest meltdown close quote for LeBron was losing to Mavs in the finals. Yet Kobe got swept by that same Mavericks team along with Russ and Durant. But we don't talk about that. LMFAO. Close quote.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I let him go with the precipitation trophies, but go ahead.
To say that the logic is twisted would be a horrid understatement.
Yeah.
Now, I will sit. Just a minute here. Okay. Now, I will sit back and say, sick 'em.
So then I went for the KO. I wanted to knock him clean and smooth off his feet. So I said to this Bronsexual, quote, we do talk about that. You mean like when Kobe got hammered in Game 6 of the 2008 finals by the Celtics, or when he was proven that he wasn't quite ready in 1997, the 3 air balls against the Jazz, or in 1999, when the Spurs swept him in the conference finals, or when the Pistons in 2004 made life hard for him after Game 2, or in Game 7 of 2010's finals when his shot wouldn't fall in the Pacific Ocean. But will this team to win doing other things? Your mistake is assuming that I'm a Kobe fan. I'm not. I respect him just as much as I do LeBron. Unlike you, I have an unbiased viewpoint of both gentlemen. LeBron is not a bum. Kobe is not a bum either. Close quote. And of course, nothing else from the Bronsexual. And nothing else should be said from the Bronsexual because he had nothing to come back from. You see, Bronsexuals, when you come with garbage, my partner and I come with facts. So I hit him with
do.
Yes. So instead of calling him out of his name, instead of calling LeBron James idiotic or stupid or a bum, no, I hit you with facts. Am I a Kobe fan? No. And here's am I biased toward Kobe? No. And here's a good snapshot as to how I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that I would be the same about anybody, I'll do it if it's LeBron. I'll do it if it's Jordan. I would do it if it's Magic. I would do it if it's Bird. My favorite player is Hakeem Olajuwon. I would do it even if it was Hakeem or Kareem or Shaq or any other player.
I've done it on this program many times, and y'all know I'm a Jordan fan.
Yeah.
Just as I'm a fan of Kareem and Magic, but when facts are facts, I put them out there.
Yeah. How can you dispute that? So it was interesting. It was funny. And it was great to just shut down a Bronsexual because it just felt so good to do it without calling him another his name and without disrespecting LeBron at the same time. You see, this is how you do it, Bronsexuals. I didn't insult him and I didn't insult LeBron, but I shut that Bronsexual up by giving facts. And here's another Bronsexual take, not by this gentleman, but by someone on Twitter that I read, where I just have to shake my head. So I read this on Twitter.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. And LeBron had to say this because, of course, his team was getting attacked, right? You know, the team is old. The team is jagged. The team can't shoot. You know, the team is injury prone. So LeBron had this to say.
Oh, no.
Quote, and I think you will really love or hate or you will be emotional about the following I'm about to say, sir. Quote, everybody has guys out except go. Yeah.
Stop.
Oh.
I know the remainder of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has guys out except for Golden State. Am I in the ballpark?
Yes, you are, sir. Close quote.
Okay. I'll put an end to this and put an end to this segment. First of all, you backwards idiot, Golden State has a few key guys out. Like, I don't know, Jordan Poole. Like, I don't know, Klay Thompson. Like, I don't know, maybe James Wiseman. Maybe Draymond Green. And we saw the effect Draymond Green's absence has on the Warriors, being held to 86 points by one of the best defensive teams in the NBA in the Denver Nuggets. And I love some Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets.
It's a bad boy.
Matter of fact, my top 4 teams at the top of the season, and I'll find the show where I said it, and Cole was with me, in no particular order, went Golden State, Phoenix, Portland, and Denver.
And I still back that up.
So everybody has guys out except for Golden State, right? Then riddle me this, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Why are the Warriors up top the Western Conference without a full squad? Riddle me this, Batman. Why did Golden State nearly wipe out a 16-point deficit in 12 minutes last night? Riddle me this, Batman. Or riddle me this, Bronsexual. Why does your team get hype after beating a team that you were supposed to beat, and you don't get hype when you get a foot put in your ass by the best team in the conference? Twice to open the season.
Or the best team in the other conference.
Again, twice.
You see, Bronsexuals, the bottom line is simple. We know that you all come with passion, you come with love, you come with rose, or in this case, purple and yellow colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
The goal of Bronsexual Confessions is to show you how distorted your view is and show you why your view is distorted. So tune in not only next week to this show, but on the returning on the daily, where I will next Wednesday tell you why LeBron James is not the most revolutionary NBA player of this era.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That goes to those who dislike Bronsexuals, and it also goes to those who are his 100 millions follower. In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Even though you fools crack me up, good Lord, I still am about to throw up.
Make 2 of us.
This has been yet another installment of the Bronsexual Confessions.
That's got to be your new closing. You got to put
What?
the heartbeat and the yeah, you got to make that into your new closing.
Okay.
So not only can you play it on your show, I can play it here.
Ooh, man.
Oh, and guess what? We're through the top of the hour. And since that is the case, I got another Bronsexual confession.
Oh, boy.
That opens with the point we just closed with. So if you think you're pissed off now, Bronsexual, wait till I get after it. And I warn you, there will be nothing but facts used in the Bronsexual confessions. I promise that. Second hour, Snowman in the morning, back after this.
These are the sounds of a dinner. But not just any dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. Because without food, it can't. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations to the COVID-19 Relief Fund are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Your help is needed now more than ever, and every dollar makes a difference. That's feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. On behalf of Feeding America and families nationwide, thank you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Excuse me, I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The COVID-19 vaccines are starting to become available across the country. And as they become available, you may be asking yourself, should I get it? Will it help me get back to doing the things I love? Like going out to my favorite restaurants, meeting with friends in person, or going on vacation and traveling again? And can I do it all without putting my family and those I love at risk? And is it safe? You've got questions. That's normal, which is why it's so important to get informed. The medical community has made it clear. The vaccines authorized for COVID-19 have met the highest safety standards and can help protect us. Visit getvaccineanswers.org for all the latest information on the COVID-19 vaccines. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you. A message brought to you by the Ad Council and the CDC.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
You ain't gonna believe this.
Okay.
But there's a buddy of ours who's a big-time Laker fan.
Yeah.
Proposing a wild mock trade involving the Lakers and Bulls.
Well, I don't even have to hear the trade, but go ahead.
I don't even want to say it. But the Lakers receive Nikola Vucevic, Lonzo Ball, and DeMar DeRozan. The Bulls receive Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook.
Why?
Jonathan Mathis, I love you like a brother, but are you out of your cotton picking mind?
Okay, all right.
The Bulls have a new regime in place. They are all smart. There's no way you make this trade. None.
I wouldn't
First
want
of
them
all,
to
it
make that
costs
trade.
you too much. Second, you interrupt the, here I go cussing again, chemistry that the Bulls have right now and the Lakers don't have, and it's the Lakers' fault they don't have that chemistry because they got the wrong players on their team. So you want to interrupt a team that's busy mauling people, trying to catch Brooklyn for the top spot in the I'll save that for Friday. I got the screenshot. I will send it to you.
All right. Look, I get it from the Lakers end. They need to get rid of dead weight. I understand that. However,
they chose the dead weight.
Thank you. Why would another team want to receive your garbage?
More to the point, LeBron chose this dead weight.
Yeah. So why would another team want to receive your garbage?
Even more to the point, LeBron is becoming dead weight. Oops.
Well, see, LeBron is there's part of me that really believes LeBron is exactly where he wants to be. He wants to be the savior of these teams that he creates, so that he can fashion the narrative of, well, I need help and all that type of junk. Meanwhile,
which is perfectly in place right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he dons a purple or yellow, depending on the opposite color of the jersey, cape to swoop in and save the day, because this team is moribund. This team is definitely not finals bound, and now, and I know I've heard this narrative too often, and now he can save the day, bring the team from being in the play-in to one of the top 4 seeds, because after all, we're talking about the greatest player of all time. We're talking about Lagout. And
don't ever say that again with that much glee in your voice.
Although
I know why. I know why, because it's a big fat joke when that's said.
Yes, it is.
I understand that. I completely understand that.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
he's one guy, and obviously, even in his early GM days, he's starting to learn that one guy can't make for a whole team. And just because a guy has a name does not necessarily mean he will contribute to your team. There's a reason why you have people who are general managers who can look at a team beyond the court and see, okay, well, we have a guy who's a slasher. I mean, LeBron, you're a slasher. Why would you want another one? And then again, why would you want a third? Because at times, Carmelo Anthony could be basically a spot-up shooter. At other times, he's a slasher himself. But LeBron's basketball IQ is through the roof. I'm sorry. All yours, sir. Barbara teams want dead weight. Come on.
You know, I'm going to just say this out loud. The stupidity of some of these mock trades.
Oh, that's just one of the stupidity I've heard of mock trades.
That's one of many. I made a promise. I need to keep it.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronsexual Confessions.
This is part 2 thereof, and the disclaimer remains the same. So I had a conversation with several bronsexuals.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir.
Yeah, I won't get those brain cells back ever again.
I know the feeling.
Okay. I must say this. I had a conversation with several bronsexuals at once in a group on Facebook. Yeah, I won't get those brain cells back either. They seem to think and continue to think that, oh, you know who is striving toward greatness in terms of 40,000 points. I have a very simple response for that. Who cares?
And here's a disclaimer. Just because LeBron's the youngest to get to these stats does not make it the fastest. And you said earlier, the best too. And I already said it doesn't make him the best shooter either. I mean, it's just ridiculous how people think in his march toward 40,000 that this makes him the best at every single thing basketball's ever created. Sickening.
These guys must drink a lot.
Well, okay, this is a PG show.
Yeah.
Because I would tell you what they drink, but I can't say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Because I'm restraining myself from saying it. In reference to that blasphemous thing you sent me earlier this morning, I would say that's the most blasphemous thing I've ever seen when it comes to LeBron James, but I have this sinking feeling as we head into 2022, that's only a warm-up.
Oh, yes. It's going to be a precursor.
It's going to be